So a lot of people saying the financial help just hasn't been enough. Congressman Bishop, let's start with you. As part of the CARES Act, the additional $600 per week runs until the end of July. So what happens then?
Well, that's exactly why I said earlier that we may need a recovery package. But the very first order of business is we've got to reopen so that businesses can begin to operate again, and so that people's jobs can be made secure. And there are various items that we're looking at. One thing is called patient capital. That is to say, there may be some things we can do through the Small Business Administration to make it so that businesses can have a longer deferral before they begin repaying, recommencing debt service payments and the like, in order to let them get stabilized as we begin to renew business activity. That's the key, though. We've got to relaunch the American economy, and we've got to might have to have a recovery package to support that.
Okay. Congressman Walker, do you think enough is being done financially?
Well, I don't think you ever get to the place where you say you can do it enough. As a former pastor, I remember meeting with many families on many different occasions. You never felt like you could quite do enough. This isn't just a financial issue. This is an emotional one as well, because families are really hurting. Both my mom and dad tested positive for coronavirus. Now they're thankfully on the backside of that, but this is impacting many different people in many ways. But where do you put an end to it? One quick aspect I wanted to add as well, in the CARES Act, speaking of some of the people that are unemployment, whether in the rural communities or urban communities, the number was 1.5 billion with a B that we added for broadband. We're doing everything that we can to make sure that people have all the access and all the tools, but you have to ask your question in the day. Is it government's responsibility for an indefinite time to continue to roll out the checks for here to infinity? One last point I want to make. I have a friend, Mark Ashley, who runs the company Market America. They are hiring people, but they are struggling. Their entry wage is $12 to $14 an hour. But as long as the $600 is an automatic on top of whatever else that someone's getting, it's very difficult for these small businesses to be able to re-engage all for people. This was a great point that Senator Tim Scott made in passing this. We've got to make those transitions to allow businesses to reopen, but allow those starter wages, those entry wages, to be able to go as far as they should.
Okay, and we're certainly glad to hear that your parents are okay. Now, Congressman Price, how are you making sure financial support is there?
Well, there's nobody on this program who doesn't want the country to reopen and get back to something like normal as quickly as possible. But wishing does not make it so. And I think there are doctors among us will not disagree with me when I say that the best scientific testimony we have these days is that it would be dangerous to reopen too soon. It would be counterproductive to open things up and then to have a recurrence of this, a resurgence in the fall. And I do think that's a very, very real possibility. So we need to do this responsibly, and that means we need to hang in there in government as well as throughout the society, and provide the bridge support that our people and our businesses need to make it to the other side. We can't stop prematurely.
Congressman